couldn't bear it without you. We don't get around anymore. Gone up as at the club, gone as far as the door. They could ask me about you. We don't get around anymore. Awfully different without you. We don't get around anymore.
I don't have all the answers, but I know what really matters. I'd rather have my children running free than sitting in a car. And we can hope they hear our pleas before they bring down all the trees. When they're complaining they can't breathe, at least we can go from A to B. And please, before you go ahead with your thoughts demolition, will you people listen to me? On behalf of all the trees and cats and bats and owls, walkers and paddlers and plants and flowers, and children that play for hours and hours and hours. They say a road is what we need to take away the traffic. That doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me. I don't have all the answers, but I know what really matters. I'd rather have my children climbing with than sitting in a car. And we can hope they hear our pleas before they bring down all the trees. 'Cause when there's nowhere left to play, at least we will have the motorway. And please, before you go ahead with your thoughtless demolition, will you people listen to me? On behalf of all the trees and cats and bats and owls, walkers and paddlers and plants and flowers, and children that play for hours and hours and hours. Another road, a river, a bigger supermarket, a million reasons not to ever go to town. I don't have all the answers, but I know what really matters. I'd rather have my children climbing trees than sitting at a screen. And we can hope they hear our pleas before they bring down all the trees. 'Cause when the local shops shut down, at least we will have our Tesco town. And please, before you go ahead with your thoughtless demolition, will you people listen to me? On behalf of all the trees and cats and bats and owls, walkers and paddlers and and flowers, and children that play for hours and hours and hours. And we can hope they hear our pleas before they bring down all the trees. 'Cause when the local shops shut down, at least we will have our Tesco town. And please, before you go ahead with your thoughts demolition, will you people listen to me? On behalf of all the trees and cats and bats and owls, walkers and flags and plants and flowers, and children that play for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
Apart from that, can we introduce Bruce, and I'm so pleased to have him with us. Bruce Hay.
It's a really great, amazing pleasure to be here. I've never been to this festival before. 35 years has gone on, 31 years, and 35 choirs. I think it's just incredible that this has gone on all this time. I think I really am not qualified. I thought when the invitation came, they got the wrong Bruce Kent. It's my nephew, he plays the guitar and sings quite well. You didn't ask him. There's a military historian in Australia called Bruce Kent. You can ask him. And there's a plumber in Cambridge. I met him once, this plumber. And before he knew who I was, I said, how do you like being Bruce Kent? He said, I don't like it at all. There's this silly bugger running around the country called Bruce Kent, and it upsets my customers. So I've been in problems. Anyway, and the other thing that I shouldn't be here for at all, apart from not being able to sing, is that I'm going deaf. And so I'm not very good for this kind of musical affair. I learned I was going deaf when a woman came up to me about a year ago and said, Bruce, I'm really amazed to see how you are getting so obese. And I thought, well, that's bloody rude. I said to my dear wife, what did she say? And she said, apparently, Bruce, I'm so delighted that you're still concerned with peace. So I realised then it was time for the National Health Plumbing, which I put in. Anyway, I'm not here for a long time. As just say, it's a marvellous opening, and I'm delighted to be here. I've had one lager, and I hope to have 2 or 3 more before it's finished. I shall be every evening, and I'll be here tomorrow, and on Sunday morning, I think, as well, for whatever. My main job, of course, is to warn you against a bogus and fraudulent seller of insurance. Fraudulent seller of insurance. Very dangerous people. It's called the British government. They're going around telling you, unless we can blow up half the world, we're not going to be secure. I looked at the television last night, and in London, they're going to cut 10 fire stations. That's how interested they are in security. I learned there's going to be subsidies for fracking companies to make the CO2 emissions in the world even worse. Nuclear weapons that were being offered for a bill of £100 billion answer none of the real security problems that we actually do have, from education to the national health, to accidents at nuclear power stations, to terrorists. What do you do with a nuclear weapon when a terrorist gets one? It's all balmy, and it's all built on national pride. I'm for national pride for good things. Music, culture, poetry, being a peacemaker in the world. That's a good... The British national pride, as expressed, if I may say, mostly by English people in Parliament, is of a bogus nationalism. When Ernest Bevin, who actually gave us the nuclear weapon policy, he did. He came into a room with Attlee and he banged the table and he said, I don't care what these things cost, I want a bloody great Union Jack on top. And that's the kind of thinking that's dominating. So I'm saying, please, watch out. If you see an insurance broker, do something about it, if it's fraudulent. And in Wales, we've got a great example. I was here last year, just down the road, Henry Richards in Tregaron, a real solid individual from Wales who did an enormous amount for peace. And I think while we rejoice and we sing and all that, then all of us make sure that we individually are putting in our sixpence worth or more than that into making the world a better place. Anyway, thank you for having me. That's the end of the sermon, you'll be glad to know. And we'll get on with the music. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Yes.